Good morning. You are listening to UpReach, a morning devotional presented by the Church Street Church of Christ in Lewisburg, Tennessee, to encourage you as you face the opportunities and challenges of today. Let's begin this day together with some inspiring thoughts from God's holy word. Now it happened on the third day that Esther put on her royal robes and stood in the inner court of the king's palace, across from the king's house, while the king sat on his royal throne in the royal house, facing the entrance of the house. So it was, when the king saw Queen Esther standing in the court, that she found favor in his sight, and the king held out to Esther the golden scepter that was in his hand. Then Esther went near and touched the top of the scepter, and the king said to her, "What do you wish, Queen Esther? What is your request? It shall be given to you, up to half the kingdom." Esther chapter 5, verses 1 through 3. Esther is a woman who lives for a cause greater than herself. God uses this woman to save the entire Jewish people from extermination. However, before God can use her, she must come to a place of death within herself. It is not an easy decision. Her uncle Mordecai is the instrument God uses to challenge her to measure up to the task. Do not think in your heart that you will escape in the king's palace any more than all the other Jews. For if you remain completely silent at this time, relief and deliverance will arise for the Jews from another place. But you and your father's house will perish. Yet who knows whether you have come to the kingdom for such a time as this? Esther chapter 4, verses 13 and 14. Mordecai is telling it straight. For her to speak up means great risks if the king does not receive her. It is automatic death for her if the king does not extend his scepter, which means acceptance of her approach to the throne. It is also a time to realize that God may be bringing her to this place and time for this specific purpose. However, if she does not respond in faith, God will use another instrument to deliver the people. So what will she do? Go gather all the Jews who are present in Shushan and fast for me. Neither eat nor drink for 3 days, night or day. My maids and I will fast likewise. And so I will go to the king, which is against the law. And if I perish, I perish. Esther chapter 4, verse 16. On the third day of the fast, she goes and stands in the inner court of the palace in front of the king's hall. She is like Jesus, who stands in the inner court of heaven on that third resurrection day. She gives up her life, but God raises it up on that day and delivers an entire people from destruction because of one woman's willingness to give up her life for a greater cause. God is calling each of us to a purpose greater than ourselves. We simply need to know and understand that it requires death before life can be given to this purpose. It must be His life that lives, not ours. This has been UpReach, a presentation of the Church Street Church of Christ in Lewisburg, Tennessee. I am Kyle Bolton, the pulpit minister at Church Street, and I would like to personally invite you to come and share times of Bible study and worship with us each week. We meet every Sunday at 9 o'clock a.m. for our morning worship, followed by our Sunday school for all ages at 10:15 a.m. Then we meet again at 6 o'clock p.m. for our evening worship. We also have a midweek meeting for devotion and Bible study on Wednesdays at 6:30 p.m. I hope to see you there. Have a blessed day.
We're part of the family that's been born again. Part of the family whose love knows no end. For Jesus has saved us and made us His own. Now we're part of the family that's on its way home. And sometimes we laugh together, sometimes we cry, sometimes we share together heartaches and sighs. Sometimes we dream.